Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So here's another deck profile for you guys today, and happy Memorial Day weekend to you guys. So I got two decks coming out this weekend, and starting off with this one, obviously it's going to be Thunder Dragons. And of course I'll make the announcement for what my last deck profile for the month is going to be, so just stay tuned for that. But anyway, yeah, I've been wanting to rebuild Thunder Dragons for quite a while, and thank God I've been saving my Colossuses, because like, as long as it came back to one, I knew the deck could be playable. And actually it is. And thankfully, I also had some other cards that actually help this deck be as competitive as it can, because Thunder Dragon Pure by itself is still really strong. Granted, it is a little fragile with Colossus, only being at one. It's really easy to get rid of, but if you're playing like the right engine with it, this deck can be pretty resilient and can be fairly annoying. And that's what I wanted to showcase to you guys. So this is going to be the Bystial build. I did my best to try to make it no more than 42 cards, and I think I finally found a way to do that. So anyway, let's go and get started. Starting off with the main deck, I'm playing 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Roar. So this card's pretty good. You can discard this card from your hand, and then you can either add one of your banished Thunder Dragons or one that's in your grave back to your hand. But you're most likely going to try to resolve its banishment effect. If this card is banished or sent from field to the graveyard, you can special summon one Thunder Dragon monster from your deck in defense mode, but you have to return it back to your hand during the end phase. But of course, that doesn't matter too much, considering that you're most likely going to tribute that card off for either to go into Colossus and so forth. Next, 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Dark, probably one of my personal favorites of the bunch. You can discard this card to search another copy of itself, and if this card is banished, you can add one Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand, so that is pretty important. So this is a great way to get either your Thunder Dragon Hawk or your Fusion to your hand, if Hawk is already in your hand. Next, 3 copies of the original Thunder Dragon. Kind of the bread and butter of this deck, simply because like, as soon as you resolve this, you're basically already eligible to summon off Colossus by its own condition. Also, it also acts as fuel for your graveyard, because since we are on Bystials, you need to banish either a light or a dark, and I do run a small Chaos Engine, so spoilers. But also, like, if you can recycle your OG Thunder Dragons, you basically get to add them back to your hand, because it's not a hard once per turn at all. It's, in fact, not even once per turn whatsoever. So yeah, Thunder Dragon is really cool. I'm only running 1 Hawk. Hawk is kind of like the worst of the bunch. It's good when it comes up. You discard this card, special summon a Thunder Dragon from either your banished pile or your graveyard. And of course, if this card is banished, you get to basically do this magical mallet effect, where you basically just mulligan whatever you don't want and just draw the same number of cards. So, but yeah, Hawk is really good whenever you search it. But yeah, definitely brick if you try to play multiples. Now moving on to my starters. 3 copies of Battery Man Solar, definitely your best starter. You can normal summon. Well, if this card is normal or special summon, you can send a Thunder monster from your deck to your graveyard. And if a Thunder monster is normal or special summon while this card is on the field, you can special summon a Battery Man token. So like, just a good way to like link climb and stuff like that. As a secondary starter, I am playing 2 copies of Aloof Lupine. It's basically an additional copy of Gold Sarcophagus. You banish a monster from your hand and then banish one from your deck of the same type, so it's a good way just to trigger off your Thunder Dragon effects. So yeah, Aloof Lupine is really great, so definitely run this. And yeah, that's moving on for that engine. Now moving on to the Bystial package. For my Bystial package, I'm playing 3 copies of the Bystial Rebellion. Crazy card, attribute any level 6 or higher Dark Dragon monster. Special summon this card, and then you can activate a branded continuous spell from your deck directly. So yeah, the Bystial Rebellion does so much. Also, you can pitch this card from your hand to search out any other Bystial monster from your deck to your hand. So yeah, definitely a great way to get this engine started. 1 Magnemite, because it's limited, but in general you're only going to be playing 1 of each of the other Bystials, so like 1 Druid Worm, 1 Saronir, 1 Baldrake. And as a little tech option of my own, I decided to play the 1 copy of the Bystial Aliber. I like to play this simply because A, it's a tuner monster, which helps me go into cards like Bystial Dispatter. But funny enough, Aliber is not too bad against the Tempite Dragons, considering that it does have an effect where you get to take control of your opponent's dragon monster. So that can actually come up. And yeah, again, I just wanted to try it out. Plus, it's a dragon type monster itself, so not too bad. As I've stated before, I am running a small Chaos Engine. 1 Wyver Burster, 1 Collapse Serpent, and 1 Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Definitely just a good way to, get a little extension, and Levianeer, just pops cards, or can special summon one of your monsters, or can even rip a card out of your opponent's hand. So yeah, has a lot of utility, so definitely take advantage of it while you can. For my hand traps, I'm only running 6 hand traps in this deck. Just playing like the standard package of 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Imperm. I was going to play 3 copies of Effect Veiler, but at this point I was running like way too many cards, and at times I kept bricking. So once I reduced the number of cards in my deck, my hand started becoming far more consistent. So yeah, I decided just to minimize my hand trap lineup. Alright, from here on out it's just going to be spells. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. It's broken in this deck, especially because, you know, you slap this with Thunder Dragon Dark or even Roar, you're gonna get things rolling. 2 Triple T, you know, just in case if I need to draw more cards. 1 Thunder Dragon Fusion, 1 Chaos Space, 1 Gold Sark, 1 Branded Regain, you know, for your Bystial lineup. And I'm also running the 1 copy of Branded Beast. It was either going to be this or it 2 to the Branded, but I decided to go with this one, just simply because, you know, it adds additional disruption, so I figured why not. Alright, so that's it for that. Now for the extra deck. The extra deck is pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, I'm going to be playing the 1 copy of Colossus. As long as you activated a Thunder effect from your hand, you can just tribute a Thunder monster and special summon this card. And again, it's a one-sided mistake, so yeah. Just to keep your opponent from searching too many cards. And yeah, Colossus is annoying for that reason. 2 Titan, you know, just because it's big, it pops cards as long as you activate Thunder Dragon monster, well, Thunder effects from your hand. I think, yeah, I believe it does have to be a, oh, actually it just has to be a, let's see here. Yep, when a Thunder monster's effect is activated. So yeah, it could be anything, but generally, yeah, your Thunder Dragon Dark, for example, it is a quick effect. And also, forgot to mention that Colossus and this card also have built-in protection effects, so as long as you keep them safe on the board, you should be fine. 1 Mud Dragon and 1 Garura. These are Super Poly targets. I do play Super Poly on the side, just in case if I need it. It really depends on the matchup, though. For my links, I'm playing the Hieratic Seal. We do run plenty of dragons, so making this is relatively easy. 1 Pisty, just because like if I need to bring back one of my Bystials, especially if I banish it off of Allure of Darkness, Pisty can come up. 1 Dark. Dark is pretty strong in this format, so I would definitely recommend playing that. 1 SP Little Knight. If you don't have access to this, I can recommend like another Super Poly target like Starving Venom, or if you want to play Cross Sheep, you know, just to experiment, you know, go ahead and go for it. 1 IP. 1 Selene. Since Dark is a spellcaster, we can easily go into this, and Selene just helps me go into cards like Access Code Talker. I'm also running Appaloosa, as I just mentioned, Access Code. And for the only synchros I'm playing the 1 Bystial Dispatter and the 1 Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is super easy to make, so I definitely recommend it. And yeah, that's about it for the extra deck. And now for my side deck. The side deck, I decided to be a little experimental with this one, but for the most important one though, I am playing the 3 copies of D-Shifter. Never got banned, so it's still pretty good. You could main deck this if you wanted to, just in case if you end up losing the dice roll. But I decided to just decide it out, because I like to see what my matchup is first. 3 Forbidden Droplet, 3 Super Poly, you know, as I mentioned, I do have targets for that. For back row, you know, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, and a card I kind of wanted to dabble with, 3 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison. I feel like this is one of those sleeper tech cards that people aren't really using, and I figured it was like, hey, let's give it a shot, you know. Against Yubel, it's not too bad to like you banish the Yubels and they can't do anything with them, and also taking control of them yourself is pretty nice. So like, yeah, figured just, you know, like I said, dabble with it for a bit, see how it goes, and if I don't end up liking it, I might switch to something else. But for now, I do like it for what it does. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys again next time.